Hey everybody, Iron Leprechaun coming at you. Hope y'all having a good start to your weekend. I'm going to talk about something that's involved in, like I said, the first step of 12-step recovery programs and apply it to how everyone can use it. That's what we're trying to do here. Remember to like, share, subscribe, comment if you like. Let's create some dialogue and hit the bell icon so you can get updates on the new videos when they drop. I post them on social media, but you can follow me there, Instagram, Facebook. It's pretty. I'm mostly active on Instagram, but I'm sometimes on Facebook too. So today we're going to talk about surrender. Yeah, not something that when placed as a verb is something everyone likes to do. Now it sounds cool. You hear about it a lot in a lot of spiritual gurus. You definitely hear about it in 12-step groups, but surrender, for me especially, I didn't like surrender when I first started coming around 12-step recovery groups because to me, surrender sounds like I'm giving up. That's what it sounded like. So if you're thinking that and it's not something that resonates well with you and it puts a bad taste in your mouth, don't feel bad. Mostly everybody feels that way. But I'm here to tell you that I don't see it that way today. And it's through the process of doing 12-step work that I came to a different understanding. One time I was at a meeting years back, over a decade ago, and this old timer who was very influential in the area said he said something to the effect of, and he was referencing old war stories, like back in the Romans and old wars, medieval times. What would happen is when a battle happened and one side was defeated, what they would do is they would assimilate the soldiers from the losing team would be assimilated into the winning team. And now the army grew and they would go on, to the next fight, or when the next fight came, they'd have a bigger army. So his shortened version of that is surrender is laying down your weapons and going to the winning side. Okay. Let's apply that to, in my case, drugs and alcohol. So I am somebody who, if you know me, if you don't, here's some news. I am very much, I have a bulldozer mentality. Like I set my sights on the goal and I strive my hardest to achieve. I tunnel vision and I try to get it done. So through that, I've been actually very successful in a lot of endeavors. And not to say that in and of itself it's a bad thing, but the problem is when I keep coming up against a brick wall, I keep coming up against something that isn't working. In recovery, I kept trying to find my way to manage my life. We're going back to that step one, and I couldn't do it. No matter how I tried, my life became unmanageable. So, at first, once I realized that if I have the wherewithal and the guidance and the faith and the courage, I can then surrender to the fact, like we talked about in step one, that I am powerless over my addiction. Okay? I'm powerless. I have to exercise some humility, which is harder for some than most, and recognize and accept that I'm powerless over this situation. Now, that situation, like I talked about, was drugs and alcohol. Today, it manifests in different ways. Now, I'm talking to the audience that specifically are like, okay, I don't have a drug and alcohol problem, blah, blah, blah. How does this apply to me? Well, we run up against things every day that we are powerless over. The weather. I talked about that before in other videos. Other people. That is one of my biggest struggles, especially people close to me, people I care about, which sounds crazy. Like, I try to exact control and power over people that are close to me. That ain't something somebody does when they love them, when they care about them, when they're concerned for them. So that's something I've actually grown a lot in lately, and I'm, trying to execute when the situation arises. If I don't, I apologize and tell that person I'm going to do better, and I do better. I don't say I'm going to do something if I don't do it. That's lacking integrity. Totally different subject. So I want to drive home that powerlessness and surrender are not a bad thing, because, man, it feels freeing. It's a relief to not have to be playing God. And that's what I was doing. When I'm trying to control anything and everything around me, not able to accept that I'm powerless over things, I'm trying to literally be God, how your concept of God, a higher power. I'm trying to be the supreme being. I'm trying to be master of all. We all have faults. We all have shortcomings. We're not masters of all. There are things we can't do. I will never be able to dunk a basketball without a trampoline. I am 5'5". I am 65 inches. I cannot jump that high. Is it possible? Maybe. But I'm willing to accept that it ain't gonna happen. Okay? It's as trying to control things around us is as goofy as trying to point at the sky on a cloudy, rainy day and say, "Let there be sun." We're not that way. The only thing we can have control over is our thoughts, our own thoughts, which manifest in words and action. Okay? So that's all I wanted to say today. Hope you all have a good start to your weekend. There will be more videos to come, and hope to hear from you.